Hey, today I am talking about this new release from the Whitby Watch Company. It is the CF100 Canuck, and man, I just love this thing. They really knocked it out of the park. You've probably realized by now I'm a huge fan of the company. They've got incredible designs, just top shelf components, great prices. But on top of all that, they just have a really strong brand identity that I really connect with. Whitby Watch Company was founded by childhood friends and their families that spent their years exploring the outdoors, which just happened to include the old site of Camp X, which was in their neighborhood, a secret military site that was run by the RCMP, but had ties to the MI6. Just an amazing origin story, which led them to create a watch company dedicated to important moments in Canadian history, Canadian features and landmarks, and achievements that have contributed to the world's history. With the CF100, they are continuing the story that they began with the CF105 Avro Aero watch, which was inspired by the famous Interceptor, so it's no surprise to see a Flieger-inspired design with this one as well. I'll put links in the description to a couple of other videos I did on the Avro Aero because they are amazing watches as well and definitely worth checking out. With that Avro Aero release, they stayed true to a Flieger design, but with the CF100 Canuck that I've got here, they've taken the reins and created something that is so unique, yet holds enough traditional design elements that it keeps some familiarity with the rugged pilot watches that we've all come to know and love. But before I get into the design elements and the specs, I did want to touch on the history of the CF100 Canuck twin-jet Interceptor. Avro began work on the Canuck, also known as Clunk, in 1946, commissioned by the Royal Canadian Air Force. They needed a jet-powered fighter plane that could be used for long-distance patrols, and the first flight took place in 1950. Something that's really cool about the Canuck is that it was the first straight-wing jet plane to achieve controlled supersonic speed, which I think is pretty awesome. And the Canuck remained in operation in Canada and also parts of Europe all the way until 1981 when it was eventually replaced. Knowing this watch was inspired by fighter aircraft, it's again no surprise to see a Flieger or pilot design as a choice for this one. The case is aptly made from titanium, which is utilized a lot in airplane and aircraft manufacturing. And this one is 39 millimeters. They did have the initial release of the Avro watches at 43, which was quite large, but I find the 39 millimeter is really great for a lot of wrist sizes, especially mine. I've got a 6 and 5/8 inch wrist. I'll post some pictures here so you can see it, how it is on that measurement. For price, at full price, these are only 965 Canadian, and that's around 710 bucks US, which for the specs I'm about to go over is already a great price, but they're currently on sale for 840 Canadian. And I also highly recommend signing up for their newsletter. They're regularly putting things on sale and you'll get alerts about new releases, sales coming up. Definitely worthwhile because some of the sales that they put out are just incredible. You've got a nice sapphire exhibition caseback showing the inner workings of the Sellita SW 200-1 automatic movement, which has a date complication. That date complication really comes to life on the dial, which I'll get to in a second. You've also got a sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating, a screw-down crown with the Whitby Watch logo, and that screw-down crown helps bring the water resistance up to 100 meters. It's got a really beefy leather strap, nice bright C3 Superluminova on the hands and some of the elements on the dial. As mentioned, the case diameter is 39 millimeters with a lug-to-lug measurement of 46 millimeters and 20 millimeter lug width, so nice and versatile for different strap options. The dial is really where things get exciting. There are a couple of different variations and multiple color options, so be sure to check them all out on the website. The one I've got is the fuselage gray dial, which Has an inner portion to the dial that's got just an absolutely beautiful gradient. It's framed by a minute track, applied indices, an applied silver logo at 12 o'clock, Canuck printed at 6. The hands are nice and legible without looking oversized. And one of my favorite features is the red lightning bolt seconds hand. Just really remarkable, and so many small design features and elements that don't look busy or don't compete with each other, just really tastefully done and in an understated way. Also above the 6 o'clock marker, you'll see the date complication, which I just love. It's bordered by these really great wings, keeping with the aviation theme, and helps this watch really stand out as a unique piece. Whitby Watch Co has really come into their own with this watch. It's got the same story and inspiration that backs up all their watches, but now they're really showing their design chops, which I just can't stop admiring. So that is the Whitby Watch Co CF100 Canuck. If you're a Canadian watch collector, it's a no-brainer. You are absolutely going to love this thing. But even if you're not from Canada, at the end of the day, this is just an awesome watch with some really great features, a nice Swiss automatic movement, beautiful design, fits well on a variety of wrists, and comes in at a great price. So definitely worth checking out. Again, I put some links in the description to the website and to some other videos I've done on other Whitby watches. Thank you so much for checking out the video.